On the broadcast tonight, we have everything you need to know about homecoming weekend.
And for those traveling by bus, hear of the new routes that are hitting your daily commute.
All of that and more right now on SUTV News.
Thanks for joining us on SUTV News. I'm Lindsay Smith.
And I'm Priscilla Schultz. This weekend is homecoming, and that means campus and the surrounding community will be swarming with students and alumni. SUTV's Adam Beam takes a look at how you can stay safe while enjoying the event. Adam?
Thanks, Lindsay and Priscilla. So obviously, homecoming weekend is expected to bring out massive crowds of past and present students here at SHIP. But as we've seen with a recent trend across the country, homecoming weekends might be a little more dangerous than they have been in previous years. I sat down with SUPD Chief of Police Pat Taylor, who told me how students and visitors can stay safe.
While no one really likes to talk about those type of issues, it is our job to prepare for them. So we should have action plans and contingency plans based, on the needs for response for those type of incidents should they happen.
The focus on security comes as this month of October has been plagued with several shootings and incidents of gun violence on multiple college campuses, all of which occurring during the respective schools' homecoming weekends. Chief Taylor informed me that not only will state police be present throughout the Shippensburg area this weekend, but will also have neighboring boroughs and even students of the ROTC here on campus to alleviate some responsibilities.
Generally, that coordination is that, we're going to handle this stuff on campus. You may see state police passing through if they're, going to a call on the other side of campus, something like that, and they need to cut through. But for the most part, we'll take care of the on-campus stuff, and state police has their resources deployed in the off-campus areas.
The risk of security comes not only from weapons, but increased festivities could also leave students exposed to other risks.
To be aware of their surroundings, have their cell phones charged, that way they're functioning like they should be, keep their keys handy, their IDs handy, make sure they're locking their doors to both their rooms, their apartments, their cars, and trust their gut. If they come up on something that doesn't feel comfortable, avoid that. But if the place doesn't look safe to go in, trust that gut feeling you get.
If you're at all curious about the other guidelines and regulations for any of the other homecoming festivities, you can find them on the Shippensburg website. But no matter what you're doing this weekend, have fun and be responsible. In Shippensburg, I'm Adam Beam. Now back to Lindsay and Priscilla at the desk.
Homecoming is a popular time for tailgating, and SUTV wants to make sure you are aware of the university's policies. Here with some important guidelines to keep you safe and compliant with policies is Carson Devitt.
This weekend is a big one for the Shippensburg community. This Saturday, the homecoming football game against Lock Haven will take place. Tailgating and picnicking, as always, are a big part of the festivities, and the university has announced policies for participants while partaking in the fun. For those of you planning to tailgate, you are permitted to set up and begin 2.5 hours before the kickoff at 1 p.m. All tailgates must conclude 2 hours after the end of the game. The university has designated the following areas for you to set up camp: the grass area between the stadium and practice football fields, grass area along the access road leading to the stadium, the commuter parking lot C6 by the baseball field, and the Lurs Performing Arts Center lot FS13. It is expected that the consumption of alcohol will be done responsibly and lawfully by individuals 21 years of age and older. All state and local laws, along with university policies, are still in effect during tailgating and picnicking activities. Non-alcoholic beverages must be provided at the event for those who will not be consuming alcohol. Skylar Walder, a student on the homecoming court, shared how students who don't want to drink can still enjoy tailgating.
The Student Affairs Division actually hosts a tailgate AF tent. So AF means alcohol free. So there's a lot of free food, different ways that the Student Affairs Division gets to engage with the campus.
Liquor and spirits, beer kegs, party balls, multi-quart beer containers, stages, soliciting, charcoal grills, and glass beverage containers are prohibited. Here is Shippensburg Police Chief Taylor with some advice for students who will be consuming alcohol this weekend.
Be aware of what you're putting in your body. Don't sit your cups down and walk away. Come back, pick the same cup up, and just make make wise decisions and think about things before you do them, and trust that, like I said, trust that gut instinct.
As always, Shippensburg, clean up after yourselves and represent Shippensburg University well, and go Raiders. For a detailed list of guidelines and procedures, visit the Shippensburg University website under Alumni, Homecoming, and Homecoming Tailgate Policy. Have a great homecoming weekend. I'm Carson Devitt with SUTV News.
If you rely on buses to get around the Shippensburg area, you will soon notice some changes in your daily route. If you plan on taking the bus around campus or to town between Monday through Friday, you're going to want to take the Red Line. If you enjoy taking the bus around this same area but during the weekends, the Blue Line will be what you're looking for. Both routes take you around both campus and off-campus locations like apartment complexes, Sheets, and Five Below. Although these changes may be small, be sure to stay in the loop for bus changes by checking CAT Transit's Raider route on their website or by downloading the Transit app to see when a bus is coming to a stop near you. Coming up next, students had the opportunity to check in on their mental health in the Cubs Great Hall.
Are you failing a class or don't know what you're doing? You're in luck. Shippensburg Primary Academic Resource Center is free to all SHIP students. The Student Success Center, also known as the Learning Center, is located on the first floor of Mallory Hall. The center provides a variety of services, including course-based tutoring, writing tutoring, and learning specialists. To schedule an in-person or Zoom appointment, visit the Student Success Center collaborative website, ship.campus.eab.com. I'm Will Nicholson with SUTV.
Are you having a hard time focusing on your work? Why not check out the Ezra Lehman Memorial Library? The library has many resources like the IT desk on the main floor. For computer assistants, see the experts. Need to print in black and white or color? Don't worry, the library offers both options on different floors. You can use the bottom floor for group work and the top floor for when you need silence. Don't forget to stop by Starbucks. Check out library.ship.edu for more information. This is a public service announcement from SUTV.
As we enter November, the fall semester is nearing its end, and that can be quite a stressful time. On Tuesday, the wellness program took over the Cubs Great Hall and the Fresh Check Day. The event was meant to give students a few hours to stop working and check in on their mental health. Students had the opportunity to write reasons to live, cards of gratitude to those who matter the most, and little affirmations that go a long way. The nonprofit organization Kindly Canines also brought several therapy dogs for students and visitors to pet and relax with in between classes. If you are unable to attend Fresh Check Day, you can still take a mental health break in the Raider Wellness Resource Center, located in Cub 121.
State Representative Robert Ledbetter, Jolene Stair, and Michael Stender have proposed to dedicate April 28th as Knoebels Amusement Resort Day in Pennsylvania. Knoebels, located in Elysburg, PA, is the country's largest free admission amusement park, which has a 1.4 million guests a year. But that is not the only reason for the dedication. Stated within the memorandum, a large part of the dedication comes from the park's devastating flood history. Within the past 50 years, the park has faced 6 devastating floods and has bounced back effortlessly every time. Knoebels features many wooden coasters, a haunted house, 2 log flume-style rides, among many other rides and attractions that make it worth celebrating. Ask You is back this week with a more serious question to ask the campus. Here is Carson Devitt with this week's question.
TikTok, the popular social media app, took the world by storm when it was first released back in 2016. Besides the efforts to ban the app from government-issued devices and Congress's attempt to ban the platform, students seem to be more worried about how addictive the app has become. Here's what the campus thinks about the divisive app.
So TikTok, the platform, I think it's really creative. It's got a lot of opportunities.
The easiest thing I can think of when it comes to TikTok is Vine. It was a social media platform that used to exist way back in the 2010s. It unfortunately died, and I guess TikTok took its place.
I love it, and it's fun. A lot of networking.
I think it's a good way to be creative and be yourself online. It can be beneficial. I think it's it's actually like a good resource, to get information, but at the same time, it's kind of opposing because I feel like you can also get a lot of misinformation.
I think TikTok is very informational. Me and my friends go to it a lot just to find basic things, so I don't really think it's bad.
TikTok for me is a place that I find a lot of new music from smaller artists, and I love supporting those smaller artists.
Yeah, I love TikTok. I'm always on TikTok. I don't even use Google anymore. I usually just like TikTok. I just
I'd be like, what's this?
I like it, but then sometimes it's too time consuming because I catch myself on TikTok for hours when I should be doing homework or something.
I think it's kind of negative, especially with those that are kind of antisocial, because it provokes you to what people call doom scroll, which is scroll on end for hours and hours and hours.
The algorithm really wants you to be on there as long as possible, and whenever it kind of like keeps people in like a negative cycle, it really can be damaging to people, especially whenever they're going through some like really tough times.
How it recommends you certain videos is it's like scary in a way, and the technology is very scary.
I think TikTok is awesome. Like, it's like the new YouTube, honestly. Like, you can look up anything and find everything.
I use YouTube Shorts now because I'm on YouTube a lot more often, and I feel like the algorithm works a lot more with what I'm interested in because I'm on there so often.
I think that TikTok is kind of a waste of time, so I deleted it like over a year ago. It's been like a great decision.
Trying to cut it out of my life completely. Same with like Instagram and like those, just a lot of those social medias that have the scrolling capability. So I really think it's horrible for our generation.
A lot of controversy in the news with it, but I've seen a lot of people get a lot of enjoyment out of it, and a lot of my friends have been able to connect with me on a deeper level because of it. I do feel, though, that everyone needs balance in their life.
That's it for this week's episode of Ask You. We'll be seeing you around campus next week. But now, back to Lindsay and Priscilla at the desk.
When we return, we continue our coverage of the crisis in Israel and Palestine.
And a U.S. Senator has been released from prison following gun charges in Hong Kong. Stick with us for World News coming up next.
Here at Multicultural Student Affairs, we value every student. No matter your race or ethnicity, you are guaranteed a home here. MSA offers many resources: a place to study, a place to meditate, a place to socialize, or a safe place to communicate issues or talk with a faculty member. Come down to Gilbert Hall today and join our family. Our roots run deep. Why not grow together? This is a public service announcement from MSA.
If you're looking for a way to get involved and inform the community, student media is the place to be. With SHIP's award-winning newspaper, The Slate, Emmy-winning television station SUTV, campus radio station 88.7 WSYC, and Public Relations Society PRSSA, no matter what you're interested in, student media has something for you. Visit the second floor of the Cub or Roland Hall for more information. This is a public service message from SUTV.
Do you know what's going around on campus this week? Caroline Cooper has the rundown in this week's Slate Preview.
Coming up this week in the Slate, the news section will inform us on homecoming royalty from this past weekend. Our A&E section will be featuring the Fall Film Festival at Shape Gallery. The Ship Life section will be covering the Think Fast game show and RHA homecoming kickoff. Our sports section will cover the recent Hall of Fame induction. Our opinion section will have this week's edition of Slate Speaks on campus celebrities. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at ShipUSlate, and be sure to pick up the next edition of the Slate Tuesday in newsstands or read anytime on theslateonline.com.
One of soccer's most controversial figures, Luis Rubiales, has been banned for the next 3 years following the unsolicited kiss of a World Champion Cup.
Here to tell us more about what has been making around headlines around the world is SUTV's Michael Salvatore.
Hong Kong officials have dropped charges against a U.S. politician who brought a weapon into the city's airport. Washington State Senator Jeff Wilson was acquitted of possession of arms without a license on Monday. While traveling with his wife on a 5-week Southeast Asia vacation, Wilson turned himself into customs on October 21st after discovering the unloaded gun in his briefcase mid-flight from San Francisco. The Republican says he is taking full responsibility for what he calls, quote, an honest mistake. The charges were dropped after Wilson promised to be on good behavior for 2 years. The senator's passport was returned, but the gun wasn't. The former head of the Spanish Football Federation, Luis Rubiales, will be banned from all soccer-related activities at national and international levels for 3 years. FIFA, the international governing body of soccer, made the decision 2 months after Rubiales kissed Spanish player Jennifer Hermoso at the Women's World Cup in Australia. Initially, Rubiales was suspended for just 90 days. However, he is able to appeal the latest suspension. Last month, a Spanish judge issued a restraining order against Rubiales. He is not allowed to get within 200 meters of Hermoso or contact her. Spanish prosecutors filed a complaint against Rubiales on charges of sexual assault and coercion. The United Nations Security Council is holding an emergency meeting Monday. Sources say that the United Arab Emirates will seek a resolution from the other members that calls for a, quote, immediate humanitarian pause in the war between Israel and Hamas. John Lornick reports.
The UN warns the weeks of siege and bombardment are taking a toll on Gaza.
There is no bread, there is no gas, there is no food. Simple food. We can't even sort it out for the children.
Over the weekend, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said his country has started the second stage of its war against Hamas.
The war inside the Strip is going to be long, and we are ready for it. This is our second independence war. We are going to fight for the homeland, and we won't withdraw.
Israeli airstrikes have already done extensive damage to the region, and the Palestinian Red Crescent Society is accusing Israel of purposely launching attacks near the second largest hospital in Gaza City.
We were not safe. We are not living like normal people. We would like to go back to our homes. The Zionist occupation destroyed our life.
According to the United Nations, civil order is shrinking in Gaza, and U.S. officials say there's a chance this war in the Mideast could expand.
Hamas is making life extremely difficult for Israel by taking civilians as human shields and by putting their rocket infrastructure and terrorist infrastructure among civilians. That creates an added burden for Israel.
The death toll in Gaza from this war is more than 7,900 as of Sunday, according to the Palestinian Ministry of Health. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
That'll do it for this week's World News. I'm Michael Salvatore. Now back to Lindsay and Priscilla at the desk.
When we come back, we are learning more about the passing of beloved comedy actor Matthew Perry.
We'll have those details right after the break.
Are you a commuter that feels disconnected? Then stop by the Commuter Lounge in Cub 209 to learn more about opportunities to get involved in Shippensburg. Check out the lounge space to socialize with other commuters with a kitchenette, computers, games, and more. Get involved in the community and meet fellow commuters through the Raider Neighbor program. Never miss a moment at Ship. Learn how to become a part of the commuter community by emailing Bridget Allen at bcallen@ship.edu. This is a public service announcement from SUTV.
It is with great sadness to report the passing of Matthew Perry, who played the beloved character Chandler Bing in the popular television show Friends. According to reports, Perry was found unresponsive in a hot tub at his Los Angeles home after playing pickleball for 2 hours. His fellow cast members are devastated by the news, describing Perry as part of their family. Perry's role as Chandler Bing spanned the entire 10 years of the show, and he was loved for his comedic and sarcastic personality. An autopsy has determined that Perry's death was not the result of a drug overdose. However, more tests will be released in the coming months. Last Friday was an incredible day for Swifties. Taylor Swift dropped her new album, 1989, Taylor's Version, exactly 9 years after the original album released back in 2014. This new album features all 16 of the original tracks, including hits like Blank Space and Shake It Off, plus 5 brand new from the Vault tracks. But wait, there's more. The deluxe version also includes a remix of Bad Blood featuring Kendrick Lamar. And it's not just the Swifties who are loving this album. Taylor herself posted on Instagram back in August that this is, quote, my most favorite re-record I've ever done, end quote. According to Spotify, the 12-time Grammy winner broke a record with 1989 Taylor's version for having the most streams in a single day. And here's the crazy part. The record she broke was her own, which she set back in 2022 with her album Midnights. It's clear that Taylor Swift never goes out of style. We can't wait to hear what she comes up with next. A beloved Hollywood actor has some thoughts about a missing Gettysburg pet. Kevin Bacon, best known for films like Footloose and Tremors, took the threads this weekend to bring Kevin Bacon home. But don't be confused. This Kevin Bacon is a pig, and his owners had created a Facebook page to help find the 200-pound piggy after he escaped from his pen. The page quickly blew up, and eventually gained the attention of the actor and Pennsylvania native. The pig was eventually found after consuming a Benadryl-laced sticky bun left by the owner, and has since been returned to his pen, with the owner posting once more to Facebook with, "He's home." The Five Nights at Freddy's movie dominated the box office, but was it any good? SUTV's Adam Beam gives us his review.
After 8 years, Fazbear and Friends have hit the big screen, and judging by this weekend's box office, we'll be seeing more of the franchise's animatronic characters in theaters. But with a rather divisive critical reaction, the question remains, is this new film worth it?
I have a job for you. Piece of cake, really.
Where Five Nights at Freddy's shines the brightest is in its leads. No, not Josh Hutcherson's Mike or Elizabeth Lale's Vanessa, but its titular animatronics. Wonderfully recreated by Jim Henson's Creature Shop, the choice to have them be completely practical was the best outcome possible. And the movie is far more enjoyable every time they're on screen. Also a delight to see is Matthew Lillard, who understood the assignment and steals the show each time he's on screen. Unfortunately, it's not enough. Lillard is in the film for what ultimately amounts to less than 10 minutes of screen time. Where Five Nights at Freddy's falls flat is everything else around the Fazbear establishment. Large chunks of the film are set outside of the pizzeria, focusing on a rather pointless family drama, as well as a more than predictable murder mystery involving a missing sibling. The film is also bogged down by a weak PG-13 rating. Despite the franchise's horror roots, this adaptation is clearly trying to market itself to the franchise's younger audience, with watered-down kills and even more watered-down jump scares.
There are ghost children possessing giant robots. Thanks for the heads up.
Technically, they're animatronics.
For the die-hard fans of the franchise, the Five Nights at Freddy's movie is sure to delight and entertain, but for casual moviegoers, it fails at being a scary horror film or an enjoyable standalone venture, one that bites off much more than it can chew.
Was that the bite of 87?
For SUTV Entertainment, I'm Adam Beam.
That'll do it for this week's entertainment. I'm Alexander Haig. Now back to Lindsay and Priscilla at the desk.
When we return in sports, we'll give you the highlights from the Raiders' trips on the road this past weekend.
And get ready, hockey fans, because the Hershey Bears are all set to take the ice when SUTV returns.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
The defending Calder Cup champion Hershey Bears will try to defend their title as a new season is underway. The Bears have returned to action following a thrilling Game 7 overtime victory to clinch their 12th title in franchise history last June. During their home opener, the team received their well-deserved championship rings and revealed the Calder Cup title banner into the rafters. The championship rings consist of 44 different stones with the players' names carved out on the side of each ring. The Bears will continue their season tomorrow night as they hit the road to take on the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Penguins. They currently lead the Atlantic Division with a 7-2 record. Shippensburg's women's soccer falls 4-1 to Shepherd University in their final home match of this season. Gabrielle Walker scored the Raiders' only goal midway through the first half, keeping Shippensburg tied with Shepherd at halftime. Raiders goalkeeper senior Kendra Barlow was busy throughout the second half, making a total of 8 impressive saves. Throughout the entire game, Barlow saved 20 of the 24 shots she faced. The Raiders will wrap up their season on the road at Bloomsburg tomorrow afternoon at 3:30 p.m. A brand new minor league baseball team is hitting the field down the road from Hagerstown. Here with the story is SUTV's Jeremy Pena.
After 3 seasons, a new professional baseball team will be soaring through the hub city. The Hagerstown Flying Boxcars will start their inaugural season in 2024, representing the independent Atlantic League as the team announced their schedule this week. The city will feature a brand new state-of-the-art baseball stadium that will house the Flying Boxcars, which will be located in downtown Hagerstown as it is currently under construction. The name Flying Boxcars pays homage to the city's wartime aviation history, specifically the C-119 Flying Boxcar aircraft manufactured by the Fairchild Company, an aviation business that boomed in the mid-1940s into the mid-1950s in Hagerstown. With more information about the inaugural season, I've caught up with the team's new general manager, David Blankstone, on what the new team has in store for this season.
I think beyond baseball, I think the community is excited, and we're excited about this project because of the new stadium that's being built, the new ballpark that's being built in downtown Hagerstown. So it's literally about a block or two from the center of downtown Hagerstown. So, we're excited from the baseball aspect, but we're also excited about the spinoff and the impact that it'll have on downtown businesses and the community. One of the, I think, unique features, which I think you see more and more with new construction these days, is that it's a 360-degree concourse. So fans have the ability to walk the entire ballpark. So the Flying Boxcar is actually an aircraft that was used back in World War I and World War II and the Korean War, and it was manufactured here in Hagerstown by the Fairchild Company.
The home opener will take place on Friday, May 5th, as they will take on the Long Island Ducks. With SUTV News, this is Jeremy Perna.
This past weekend, the boxing and MMA world collided in a 10-round boxing match between former UFC star Francis Ngannou and WBC heavyweight champ Tyson Fury. Quickly in round 3, Ngannou landed a questionably legal punch on Fury's head, leading to Fury's knockdown, where he took 8 of his 10-second count to get back up. The rest of the match was equally debatable, with the only knockdown being landed by Ngannou. Fans were expecting to see the judges in favor of Ngannou, however, Fury won by a controversial split decision. Fury is set to box at the start of the new year in February to finally settle the score to determine the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world versus challenger and fellow champion Alexander Usyk. It is unknown whether Ngannou will stay in boxing or revert back to his mixed martial arts roots. That's all for sports this week. I'm Ben Willey. Now back to Lindsay and Priscilla at the desk.
When we come back to close out the show, see how one essential meal for college students is becoming environmentally friendly.
See what's in store when we return.
favorite instant ramen cup noodles is going green. For the first time in 50 years, Nissin Foods USA says its cup noodles will get new packaging starting next year. The cups will no longer be made from styrofoam. They will be made from paper, which is more environmentally friendly. The change also means the ramen can cook in the microwave, which eliminates the need for boiling water. Don't worry, Cup Noodles' recognizable logo and packaging won't change, but the plastic wrap around the cups will also be switched out for sleeves made from recycled paper. I don't know about you, Priscilla, but I love ramen cup noodles, and I'm so excited we can now make it in the microwave. It'll be so much easier in the dorm.
I know, me too. And because they're so popular, I'm really glad that they're encouraging people to go green and be more friendly to the environment. But that's it for SUTV News. I'm Priscilla Schultz.
And I'm Lindsay Smith. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at SUTV News, and check out our website, sutvnews.org.
We'll see you next week. Good night.